Hello, hello, hello. Hi, I'm DanielleO, and thanks for clicking this video. So today I'm going to talk about Attack on Titan once again, but today's a bit different. I didn't do a reaction video because I knew this episode wouldn't have been so actiony. So yeah, I decided to just do a review of the episode that just aired. So before we get into all of that, hit the subscribe button, please and thank you. If you know what I'm talking about in the show, maybe we have the same ideas, put something down in the comments and let's start a conversation, okay? Episode 67 was called Assassin's Bullet. And if you watched the episode, you already know our girl Sasha, rest in peace. She's gone. I'm gonna miss her. Oh, I'm gonna miss that clown. But it is what it is. We shall move on. We have Gabby and Falco who've been taken in. Surprise, surprise, Zeke is somehow working with them and they're going back to Paradise. We're all confused at this point. Like, what the hell? When did these people get in contact with each other and coordinate that they would mush up, do a little destruction in Marley, and then disappear back to Paradise and come up with something? That's where we left off in episode 67. Now to begin the review for episode 68, which was called Brave Volunteers. And in my previous video, I was kind of thinking, oh my gosh, what is this episode going to be about? And my first thought was kind of dumb. It's just like, oh my god, they're going to talk about like brave volunteers. And so after watching this, now we understand who the true brave volunteers were. Now let's get into this review of episode 68. Basically, episode 68 starts off with Armin. He's talking. He has like a seashell in his hand and he's kind of seeming like he's in some dark basement. And he's just talking, and then he goes into the story of what transpired 3 years ago. The story starts off with a Marley ship going to Paradise to, I guess, do a little investigation into why the warrior unit failed their mission in redeeming the founding Titan. They're coming in on the sea, big ship and everything. You got the Marley soldiers on it, and they're like, okay, we're pulling up. And then all of a sudden, boom, they're rising up. What the hell is going on? It's Big Man Eren in his Titan form. And you know what's so funny? If you remember who Eren Kruger is, he was a Eldian posing as a Marley officer. You have Eren Kruger who broke the ships back in Grisha's memories, and it was basically the same thing. So they're coming to take the new Marley soldiers hostage. Maybe like, show them that, hey, yo, we're just normal people. We want to know what's going on. Like, maybe, I don't know, they're trying to do something. And so that was an interesting scene because I liked how they did the parallel of when Eren Kruger broke the ship and Eren Yeager picking up the ship and bringing it to the shore, where you have Hanji, is it Hanji or Hanj? Hanj, we'll call her Hanj. Levi, and whoever else is hiding with their guns out and waiting to see if they were going to be willing to come with them or if they were going to be hostile. And Hanj does the most. Homegirl's trying to put on a whole skit. Oh my god, come have some tea. Like, ma'am, they're going to come kill you, But they had something up their sleeve. Not really have something up their sleeve. I mean, they have Eren back there, so he can just kill them right then and there. So clearly they had the upper hand. But you had these Marley soldiers on that same ship who turned against Marley soldiers. And that was Yelena and our nigga, Onyankopon, and some other people on the ship. They're like, we're going to have some tea with them. You can come along or you can die. Pick one. So they ended up having Hanj, Levi, Yelena, and Onyankopon. They end up having like a sort of meeting and showing them a few of their little gadgets, like their little semi-automatic guns. And then they're giving them all these details. It was funny to see how Hanj was just supposed to act like, okay, thanks for the info. But meanwhile, homegirl's excited. And then Levi is just like, can you chill the fuck out? They're going to look at us like we're stupid. Which, it's true. I was looking at him like, if you don't chill, girl. Because, like, take it in. They're quick to take up their offer to just chit-chat. Like, I guess they expected a bit more resistance. But because they latched onto the offer so quick, of course you gotta be a little cautious. I was just thinking like, yo, Levi, are you the one that are you really in command here? And is Hans just the poster child for the scouts now? Because she was doing too much. She was too excited. She needed to reel it back and act tough because now you have the enemy sitting across the table. You don't know what they're gonna say. You don't know what they can do. I mean, yeah, they've given you a few little things right then and there, but you don't know what else they could have been hiding. So she needed to chill out on that stuff. As a character, Yelena is kind of I think she's an interesting character though, but I kind of find her a little scary. You just don't know, like you just don't know. Don't know if she's I don't know. I just feel like there's something sinister, or maybe she's a bit unhinged somehow. She seems very unhinged because I guess when her country was going to war with Marley, they were losing. So she has faith in her man's Zeke, which is kind of scary. So yeah, I do find it interesting that like the other countries took note that Marley lost their colossal titan, the biggest one, and they also lost their female titan. But I find it interesting that they decided to band together and go to war with them, but they ended up losing. So, y'all fucked up. Sorry. I mean, they still had the beast, they still had the card titan, they had the Warhammer Titan, even though I don't think we didn't really know about the Warhammer Titan at that point. I like how we got to see how Yelena and Zeke first met in a sense. We got to see why she's so like I'm here for Zeke and I want to help his plan type of thing, because she saw him as a god. Like, what? This big beast. You don't know him. But does anybody really know him? So after Hanj and Levi talk to Yelena, they bring her back to Historia, who is the queen. We miss her. And they give them all the deets on what Zeke is planning. We don't know his full plan, but all we know is that him and Eren need to somehow get together, and then the full plan will be released. I find that very sketchy. I don't like it at all. I understand why some of the top officials were like, no, what are you talking about? But then again, like, Eren is the only one that knew at that point that like it would work because he's already experienced it, and he didn't want to bring it up, like I guess talk about it in detail with everybody else, because he knew that Historia was gonna be in danger. So that was a nice thing to do, like, save your friend. But now that everybody knows, you're looking like a little suspicious. Like, why didn't you tell us before? Yeah, Levi was about to beat his ass. That would have been funny to see still, but they moved on from that clearly. But I really think it was bad timing. Buddy, it's either you should have done it years ago, or you should have told a few people, maybe the most trustworthy. It's interesting though that because I remember from the first few episodes they mentioned that the Marley soldiers, they would send out ships and none of them came back. It's funny to see that homegirl Yelena was a good actor and was, making their calls to the other ships saying, oh my god, we need help, we're waiting on the shore, blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, girl, you're good. You're just trying to come and collect some more, because clearly there are more traders on the ship, or people who they can make into traders or use them as hostage. I'll give her props for that, for being a good actor. Okay. One thing that did I guess worry me was that like they were just like eating up everything that they would say. Like, y'all need to be a little bit more cautious of what everybody's saying. They could have been telling them some big lies and they're just eating it all up. Like when Onyankopon was telling them, like, I don't even want to look at my nigga Onyankopon like a big liar, but bro, he could have been lying. He could have been lying about everything he was saying. Come on. At that point, clearly they're at like an advantage because they're bringing information into them, and people on Paradise are all clueless as hell, so they'll take everything as fact. At least that's what I assumed that they would do. But for the most part, that's what they did. Look at Hanj, the way she was reacting in when they were first meeting. She was so like, what? But I mean, it's a natural response, so I understand that. But come on, be cautious. Be like Levi. Cautious as hell. I thought it was very funny and like an honest question when Sasha asked Onyankopon why his skin is dark. Cause like, bro, even I was confused when they first pulled him up. I said, what? Where did this black man come from? I was shocked. Very shocked. Especially when he was riding with the Eldians into Marley. I was very hella confused. I was like, excuse me, when did they have a black man on Paradise? If you see my first reaction video, I was very confused. I like the way he, I guess, responded. It was funny. He was like this. He was like, "I'm a fine boy, you know." I thought it was a good response. It's like, went on about the creator, blah blah blah, and they decided to make some different people. And he was going on saying that people have different religions and different ways of thinking and beliefs, and it's like accepted. Like there's not one way of thinking. So I thought that was a good piece of content. What the hell? Kudos to the creator of Attack on Titan. I will be saying your name one day, and I won't butcher it. Another part of this show that I thought was interesting was you can see the relationship between Armin and Mikasa and Eren like deteriorating. This nigga Eren is on a vengeance, and he doesn't give a damn about anything. He don't care about his friends really. He's just doing what he needs to do to reach that goal. Like, I can respect that dedication, but it's a little bit too much where you're losing yourself. Like, you losing, homeboy is losing his humanity. He needs to, I don't want to say take a break, but he needs to just recenter himself and remember this is not just your problem. This is everyone's problem. He doesn't have to take on this burden himself. Like, I think that's something he's forgetting or he's just ignoring. But, you're not in this alone. Sir, please, have some sense. Look, you went and got Sasha killed. It's your fault. I will blame him until they show me something that makes me not want to blame him. But, sir, it's your fault. Okay? And maybe everybody else's fault too. Like Zeke or who knows. But right now, it's his fault. Once again, another reason number 84 why I love Armin is because he kind of looks at this whole situation in a diplomatic sense. He questions Yelena's plan, which is essentially Zeke's plan. Like, you got to come with the questions and be like, why are you doing this now? What are your ulterior motives? You're not coming with the full truth. Like, what's going on here? Maybe it might be a good plan, maybe not. But he kind of looks at it in terms of like, why can't we talk about it first? And then if we need to put our hands down, then we're going to put our hands down, we're going to fight. But most people are on the side of let's just kill them all. Let's kill the enemy. But it's like, bro, you never know how many people might not be the enemy, but look like the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's do better. I like how he understands that like everybody looks at them like they are the devils. Based on the history, they appear as devils. He knows that once they somehow when they attack, it's just going to confirm their ideas that they are devils. So I think that's what Armin was trying to avoid. It's like, I don't want people to look at us like that no more. But then again, like, bruh, it is what it is. You're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. And I don't think people were actually going to listen. Like, I appreciate that, he has that heart to talk about things first. But my nigga, it's not gonna work like that. I'm sorry, but I respect it and I appreciate it. And I wish the world worked like that, but it's not. So back to what happened in the last episode. Sasha dying and everything. We get to see more of what they were like before, and we get to see like, homegirl Sasha was living life in terms of food. When you got one of these captors, Nicolo, he was feeding them some good stuff. You see the scene where Sasha's just eating up them lobsters and all those types of seafood things. Like, damn, homegirl love food for life. Eventually, you see them at the gravesite where they buried all their, lost soldiers. And clearly they're at Sasha's grave, and you see Mikasa, sad girl. In terms of her friendships, you would mostly see her with Armin and Eren, but we never really saw how, I guess, her relationship developed with the other girls. But clearly we can see that, Sasha's death. Sasha was her girl, clearly. And now she's dead. Now what's she gonna do? Stick with the boys? Boring. So yeah, eventually, Nicolo, Mr. Chef, he comes to her graveside as well. So that's when you realize, like, bro, it was like, I guess maybe they had some sort of relationship, or maybe it was leading towards that. Who knows? So clearly her death hurts him too, but he's still morally captive, you know. And when he was talking to Jean and Connie about her death, he brought up he was questioning Connie, and Connie's like, "Yo, that girl's my sis, pretty much my twin," and that I felt it. I was like, "Oh my god!" So he's like, "Oh, my other half is gone." Like, sad. This poor sis is gone. They're like besties from time. From the very beginning, they were BFFs, acting goofy as always, and now she's dead because they Aaron. Unless prove me wrong, and then we'll talk. Actually, don't spoil it for me. So prove me wrong later on. Sasha's family, like her dad, mom, and I guess her sister, they pull up. They come to her grave, and they're there too. And it's kind of a sweet moment where Piccolo's like, you know, I fed your daughter. She loved my food. If you want to come eat at my place, you're always welcome. I was like, damn, like, still hurts. Sasha's dead. Then it comes to where Zeke and Levi are going somewhere, and clearly there's still tension. These guys can't wait to duke it out. I can't wait to see that happen. Never forget, we don't like you. And I thought it was funny that he's like, yeah, we'll pull up to your hotel. We're going to put you in a nice hotel. Meanwhile, the hotel's the woods. You don't deserve good living, sir. You can live in the woods. Gabby's going crazy in jail or in their dungeon, prison, whatever. She finna kill Aaron when she gets her hands on him. Meanwhile, Falco's just like, he ain't doing nothing. What's there to do? You're captured because of this girl that you love. Mm-hmm. She's still crazy about killing Aaron. Zeke is like, I would like to talk to them, but they're not letting me. But why would he want to talk to them? That's a good question too. What are you trying to tell them? So near the end of this episode, you see it comes back to Armin, and he's still talking to you see he's still in this like dungeon or basement or whatever, and he's still talking to the seashell. But eventually, we come to see that he's actually talking to Annie, who is still in her crystallized state, and her hair is pretty long. So I guess your body still grows when you're in that crystallized space. When's she gonna wake up if she's even asleep? Does she even know what's going on? Because if you think back to the other, the Warhammer Titan, her eyes were wide open. She was very conscious. So now it's like, was Annie just not able to reach that state where she's conscious in the crystal? Or is she just like, I'm gonna be my crystal, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna just sleep. Because she's tired. She's tired of everybody's bull. So she's just like, I'm gonna just go in a crystal state and go to sleep until I'm ready to come out. I'm also wondering, is your dad dead? So this episode ends off with, you see Aaron and Mikasa kind of both saying the same thing. You're going to fight to the end, fight or die. That may be the new slogan for Paradise and Eldians. It's either fight or die. First it was give your hearts. Now it's fight or die. But it might have been the same thing. Give your heart. Fight or die. For the next episode, it's called A Sound Argument. I don't know. Everything seems up in the air right now. Maybe they're trying to figure out, like, are they actually going to go and kill these people? AKA everybody but them. AKA everybody's their enemy. AKA they're a small little army. And AKA us against the world. I mean, it's us, the Eldians, against everybody else. Or us, the Eldians on Paradise, against everybody else. What I'd say about the episode is I like to know what's going on in between all the action. So I love a good background story. I like everything that built, like, I like to know what has gotten people or characters to where they are right now. So if you're the type of person that only likes action, then you only like action. I like action, and I like the in-between stories. So this type of episode is stuff I tend to enjoy. It was I don't want to say it was slow. It was just like an information episode. I feel like these episodes are pretty important too. So don't be a hater. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. My last video I was like, yeah, this is gonna be about the brave volunteers, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the brave volunteers were actually the Marley traitors, I guess. The anti-Marleyan volunteers. So I thought it was going to be more of the Eldians on Paradise, who were part of different, I guess, either if they were on the garrison or if they were on the military police. I thought they were the Brave Volunteers that would transition into the Scouts. But no, the Brave Volunteers were the anti-Marleyans or the Marley soldiers that got taken in and decided to just work instead of being stuck in a jail. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up my video. Yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think, and we can have conversations about it in the comments. That's about it. So, okay, bye.